Okay, for 47, it might be a little bit hard to read this. It's probably pretty small on your screen, but again, you should have the paper copy of this. But with number 47, the difference of a number and 7, well, here is a number and 7, and because they said the difference, you will put that sign between the number and the 7. Okay. Is corresponds to an equal sign, the same as 35 less the number. You might be surprised how this gets written. 35, and basically less means you're going to put a subtraction sign right there and then the number. They actually want us to solve this. Well, this is going to be interesting. Okay. I can't have an x on each side, so I'm going to get rid of this x by saying plus x and plus x. And I just draw a line here. That gives me a 0. I don't have to write it. Here's the 35 equals 2x. Bring down your negative 7. Okay. And then let's see. You need to get rid of this negative 7. So you put plus 7 and plus 7. That's held. This 7 is held by addition or subtraction. So you use addition or subtraction to get rid of it. Simply draw a line here, bring everything down. 2x equals 42. And now one more step to get x by itself. You want to get rid of the 2. It's held there by multiplication. The opposite operation is division. 2 goes into 2 once, and you end up with x equals 21. Okay. Okay, we're working on number 48 here, and again, this writing might be a little small for you to read, but hopefully you have a paper copy of this. 5 times some number added to 5. You might be a little surprised how this ends up looking. Here's our 5, okay, right there. 5 times some number, well, that's going to be a 5x, but because it's added to, you would actually go, this is 5 times some number added to 5. Okay? Then, because it's being added, it's not of much consequence, but if this was involving subtraction, that would be more important. Amounts to, that's our equal sign. A negative 1 added to the product of 3 and the number. Well, the product of 3 and the number is that. And again, this a negative 1 added to something. All right, I'll do it their way. Plus negative 1. I don't really like writing it that way because now I have an extra step. I don't like 2 signs in front of a number. I use the rules of multiplication to change it to 1 sign. Positive times negative is negative. So we have 5 plus 5x equals 3x minus 1. You either have to get rid of the 3x or the 5x. I'm going to get rid of the 3x because I like to keep my variables positive if at all possible. So this is a positive 3x. I'll use negative 3x to get rid of it. Put negative 3x on the other side. Then simply draw a line and bring everything down. So you have 5. This is plus 2x. That's a 0. You don't have to write it. Bring down your negative 1. Let's get rid of this 5. It's held there by addition or subtraction. It's a positive 5, so I put negative 5 underneath it. Negative 5 over here. Just draw a line and bring everything down. That's a 0. You don't have to write it. 2x equals negative 6. One step away from the solution. You want to get rid of the 2. It's held there by multiplication. The opposite operation is division. And you basically have it. 2 goes into 2 once, so you have x equals, and that's a negative 3. Alright, 9 times the sum of a number and negative 36. Let's start out the sum of a number and negative 36. Well, here's a number and negative 36 because they said sum. You put a plus sign between them, and notice out here it has 9 times all of that. So this is where you have to use your parentheses with a 9. Okay. And equals, they weren't very mysterious there, negative 72. Okay, to find the number, you've got to, well, I guess I'll clean this up because this looks pretty strange. Normally I wouldn't even write it this way, but I'm just being very explicit writing what they gave us to write. I use the rules of multiplication to change from 2 signs to 1 sign. So that's going to be positive times negative is a negative. And I'll just bring everything else down. We've got 9 parenthesis x. Alright, now to get rid of your parentheses, send the 9 in to each term. So that gives us 9x. Well, that's a lot of fun. 9 times 36. Well, let's crank it out. That's 54. 27, 29, 30, 1, 2, 324 equals negative 72. Okay, we want to get rid of this negative 324. It's held there by addition or subtraction, so we simply use the opposite sign. Okay, just draw a line here, bring everything down. We have 9x, that's a 0. I don't have to write it. Here to do this computation, of course the larger number has to be on top. So there's a 2, 12 is 5, 252, and 4, 9. 9 might go in there. I think it does. Alright, so we want to get rid of the 9. It's held there by multiplication. The opposite operation is division. And this cleans up, as always, very quickly. 9 goes into 9 once, and you have x equals, and I think 9 will go in there. So 252 divided by 9, it goes in twice. And then what do we get? 72. 9 times 8 is 72. So we figured out that x is 28. And I think that's all of those. Yeah, we'll